in this new alternate way to formulate the quantum theory that is completely equivalent to the wave mechanics. There are basically three ingredients in Feynman's sum over history. The first ingredient should seem very familiar to us, and that simply says that if we want to calculate the probability for some particular outcome, which I would call script O, of an experiment, if we want that probability, the way we are taught to compute it is we take the complex magnitude squared of what's known as a quantum amplitude associated with that outcome, where this A then is again just some complex number. And this is exactly the type of framework that we've been working within, so this should be very familiar to us. We've just learned one particular way of calculating these quantum amplitudes by solving wave equations. But there is another way. And the second step then in the sum over histories idea tells us how else we could compute this amplitude. And we are told that we should compute it as the following. It's the sum over all histories, and I will call the histories H, that leading to that particular outcome O. And then we're told that each of those possible histories, each possible sequence of events that would lead to O, has a particular amplitude associated with it. I will call that A, which depends, of course, on my history. This, too, shouldn't be completely surprising to us because, after all, we know the way we've been building up our theory and solving problems is based on the principle of superposition of the complex wave amplitudes when we build up a wave theory. So this should be quite reminiscent to us of that. The third part is maybe a little bit harder to see at the moment, but we will be looking at this in depth in just a moment, and that is to say that, well, the way we calculate the amplitude for a given history is as the following. It turns out to be a product then over all events E that make up or are a member of the given history, and each of these fundamental events then has a fundamental quantum amplitude, which I will call alpha, associated with each of these different possible primitive events.